Good morning, everybody. It is May 10th. This is Prime Nation Live, and I'm Sydney Roberts.
I'm Tyler Wood.
I'm Cameron Smith.
I'm Tanner Methvin.
And hopefully Charlie Dawson will be joining us at some point today.
I don't think he will. He has not opened my snaps or responded to my
Ruh-roh.
text.
Guys, I finally did it. I killed him.
Oh, you probably don't want to admit it right here on air. But,
idea.
you know, hopefully he's not in some sort of horrible, gruesome, disfiguring accident.
Oh, no. Poor boy's cute.
But this was going to be his last show, so I hope he shows up at some point. He's moving up to the big leagues, leaving us plebes behind, going to the big city.
Yep, going to Cape Cod for a summer.
Oh, I always forget about that. I feel like he's going straight to New York.
No.
Who would have guessed that Tyler knows the most about Charlie?
I keep tabs on him. I am like J. Edgar. I have files on each one of you.
Okay.
Tyler's the king of segues. Which is
Speaking of Cape Cod, though, I'm about to see that I'm the king of segues here. Costco has an amazing Cape Cod chicken salad prepackaged. If you're ever there, go ahead and pick that up.
I wish you had like a beep because I would just go, I'm the king of Cape, and then you beep me. Because I wanted to say a word that rhymes with cod.
Ah, I see. Like a curse style beep.
Yeah.
Not just this style.
No, is that the only two you have?
That's the only one you need.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna give you. No, I got
we
plenty
need
of
more
stuff
black
to work
people
with
on
here.
this show.
We really don't.
Wow.
Can you do a butt-umps on that?
Jesus, I don't even want to.
That's the funniest thing Tanner's ever said.
We really don't.
I don't even want to give that
Jesus Christ.
But
Oh, do you have a wham?
we did at one point, but I don't. Nope.
That'll do. That's fine.
Yep.
We did have one of those at one point though, but I switched it up. Jeez, Tanner, let's just
Tanner, you have any more to say?
Yeah, let's
skate right over that. Was that your way of segueing into J. Edgar again?
No, it was my way of. That was kind of a shock, like with Ben Franklin.
All right, well, we're going that story then. So on
Tanner,
this
by the
day-
way, if you're close to pooping your pants today, just leave.
Okay. I figured we'd go in chronological order.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So Ben Franklin also probably had a distrust of black people, at least slightly, if he didn't act on it.
Oh, I saw a very interesting video from Today I Found Out YouTube channel about Benjamin Franklin. You know how they found all of those? Oh, there's that mosquito.
Yep.
They found all those bodies in his home that he was staying in England.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it turns out it was not. He wasn't killing people. God darn it,
running a morgue.
No, there's a guy that was living in the same tenement as him, and that guy was like running a. He was a legitimate doctor, I believe. I was half listening to this video. He was running like a dissection school. Stuff that had been outlawed in England because no one knew the proper way to do it. So he was like trying to teach the way to dissect people, and that's why they found a whole bunch of bodies with like marks
I
on
never even knew that was a thing.
He wasn't murdering people.
Okay, yeah.
No one was murdered, I think.
Yeah, this article I just pulled up is Why Was Benjamin Franklin's Basement Covered with Skeletons?
Exactly.
Never heard that story. So, anyway, in 1752, on May 10th, Ben Franklin carried out his famous kite experiment to, he was trying to figure out like the properties of electricity or the conductivity of metal? What was it?
I think so. I guess. Do you think like he was just flying a kite in a storm like an idiot, and then later said like, "Oh, this was all part of the plan."
My library isn't built yet.
That's kite. That's kite with a T, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. We don't need any more racial confusion right now.
Not race.
So it was Jesus, Tanner.
I said this.
They're not a race. They're not a legitimate race.
They're not. They're a religion.
I don't know. Isn't that like
Arabs are a race. Muslims are a religion.
Okay, so they would be like Israelites. I don't know. I feel like this is a conversation we don't need to have.
They're like
on the show.
Mediterranean. Aren't they Mediterranean?
It would be okay to have it if Charlie was here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
this is
Charlie, by the way, in this picture.
Is Charlie even a full Jew?
Charlie, we find Charlie throughout ancient historical.
Can you zoom in?
That's
Can you zoom in enhance? Good.
Okay, so I guess we'll get to the bottom of this real quick. Anyone listening, feel free to weigh in on this. Is Jew a race? Is what I'm
I have
Googling.
been told I have been told it is.
I've been told by Jews that it is as well, but it's a religion.
Well, it's definitely a religion. Like no doubt that
no
it's a
doubt,
religion.
yeah.
But I think it's also a race.
You can't like
I think that's why Jesus was a Jew.
Okay, so if you there's certain requirements, like your mother has to be Jewish, right, for you to be Jewish, or like officially Jewish. There's something like that.
Yeah.
No other race is like that. If that happens in another race, you're like, oh, I'm half black.
True. But like I think that falls into the religion type organization. I don't know. I'm looking it up, and this says
you can't convert to a race. You can
Yeah.
convert to
Yeah.
Judaism.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I guess really the race would be like Israeli /
Now,
That's a
Palestinian
country. That's like saying that we're
nationality.
American. Nationality, thank you.
I think there's Jews and then there's
And there's
Jewish
Jews.
people.
I mean, I know like this
I'm a
is
Jewish Jew.
I mean, I'm on this what I assume is a Jewish site right now, and it kind of
Shabbat.org.
Yeah. Are
Is
you
it
on that right now?
Yeah, that's where I am too. And
It's also just kind of saying like, don't forget that the concept of race is something humans made up.
That's
True.
fair. That's
True.
a good point.
that is a good point. So let's just end it there.
Religion's
that is
real,
a-
though.
that is
Race
a good
is a
point.
man-made construct, and that's all we need to say about that.
That's a good point. Smart Jews.
Time is also a man-made construct, so we don't really start it at 10 a.m.
Exactly. we start at the
We
agreed
start at
upon
9 a.m. according to this
concept.
clock.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, in 1752, Ben Franklin. How did we even get around to?
Good old Ben.
Oh, because
He
of-
was a secret
okay,
Jew.
yeah, never mind. Yeah, the word that kite sounds like. I don't think that just a regular kite would get struck by lightning. I think he had to have the key at the end, right? It's not like
It has to be metal.
exactly, yeah.
Well, people can get struck by lightning.
Well, this photograph
really by
does not have a
chance.
key on it, so
And this is at a time where there were not a whole bunch of large buildings, so as he put, like, that was going to be far and away the closest thing to the clouds.
yeah.
So, and he might have had some metal in the kite. I don't really know exactly. Well, think about it. If it's thread, that doesn't conduct electricity.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think he did perform it because in 1750, Ben Franklin published a proposal for an experiment to prove that lightning is electricity by flying a kite in a storm. That didn't work for 2 years. So then I think that's when he finally was like, okay, let me try some metal.
Ooh, we came a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. And
I think lightning is electricity.
yeah, back when people used to think the world was flat and the sun, and then we all revolved around, everything revolved
Mhm.
around the earth.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, in some places it does,
uh,
unfortunately.
Mythbusters addressed this. They said that if the lightning had actually hit the kite, Franklin would have been killed.
That's not necessarily true because sometimes people are struck by lightning and not killed.
Right, but
Yeah.
it says he would have received a fatal current through his heart. Nevertheless, they confirmed certain aspects were feasible.
Oh, okay. So it said he was careful to stand on an insulator. So maybe that's why it didn't kill him. Maybe he did have the key, but he was standing on an insulator. But I mean, I tend to err on the side of the Mythbusters. So,
Well, they hate each other.
well, it doesn't discredit their myth-busting
I can
abilities.
see why. Jamie's kind of an a-hole.
He's just so bland.
Which one's Jamie?
The mustache
Walrus.
Oh,
one. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so bland. Yeah, I used to be a big fan of. Well, I mean, I still am a big fan of Mythbusters, but you could tell how awkward it was at the end, like during those last 2 seasons when they let go of the other 3 people who went on to start the White Rabbit experiment or whatever.
I tried to watch one of those, did not like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to be on the Mythbusters umbrella.
Okay, so it says that the kid in this painting helped to perform the experiment, and it was his son William. That has to be a weird thing for your dad to ask you.
Apparently, Benjamin Franklin riddled with STDs.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's a really interesting guy. Like I've heard on various podcasts, people read excerpts from his diaries and stuff
Are
like
you
that.
talking about the one where he reads about old women?
No, I
And
haven't
he's
heard
like,
that.
if you're going to take on a mistress, take on an old woman.
No. Huh.
I think it's
They're
something.
insatiable or something like that.
They're insatiable, and he says something. I might be bastardizing
I
this
have
quite a
the
bit.
The pink
but
is
heard
the
that.
most tender.
yes, something like that. And he says like maybe you can't. Something like you can't tell the gray hairs in the dark.
Oh.
I want to. That one's like that's a sentiment in there. That's probably not the exact wording,
Yeah.
but basically like everything's the same in the dark.
Wow, huh? But yeah, he has all kinds of interesting musings about like religion, government, all that stuff that flies in the face of what you would expect Ben Franklin to think about those things. But anyway, so in 1752, according
Sydney got that Segway game on lock.
according to mythology, Ben Franklin was electrocuted with a key on a kite. Who knows if that's how it actually happened? That tends to be how it goes with everything these days. We find out that all our heroes were actually villains. All our villains were actually heroes, except for the Joker. He's always
and Hitler.
The lower lips age like a cast iron skillet. Probably got to be a line from
Something,
that
something,
Ben
something.
Franklin.
I hope I can fill it.
Yeah, Ben Franklin surely was a poet too. I wouldn't be surprised if you could dig up some of his old lyrics and
Oh, it turns out, oh God, I can't remember his name. Some famous poet had a bunch of concussions.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Give me famous
That's
poets.
interesting.
Walt Whitman.
God.
No.
Pierce Shelley.
No.
Robert Frost.
No. Long name. Like Whitman, but not Whitman.
Edgar Allan Poe.
No.
T.S. Eliot.
No.
Emerson.
No.
I can't remember his first two names.
This guy was on NPR the other day. Come on, guys.
So he's still alive.
No.
Sure.
The guy was on there. Okay, so a guy wrote a book about him having CTE and post-concussion syndromes. Like, he has a
Wow.
complete book about it.
Huh.
It's Kill Time. Kill Time while I look it up.
Well, we have other on this days.
We do indeed. So we'll come back to the poet who has CTE. But in 1924, this is some timely news. J. Edgar Hoover was appointed to head of the FBI.
You're right, and I respect the sentiment, but it's timely news. It's just like coincidental.
What, the news and timely
Yeah.
essentially mean the same thing?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Just like 1924, timely news, but yeah,
It is weird how news implies it's new, it's happening now or recently. We've just all kind of come to accept news as like facts.
Yeah.
So anyway, so in timely facts,
Mhm.
in 1924, J. Edgar Hoover was appointed he was the sixth head of the, it was called the Bureau of Investigation back then, later became the FBI in 1935 under J. Edgar's rule.
Hoover got them Fed connections.
Yep. And Tyler is busy looking this up right now, but he wanted to bless us with his...
Hemingway.
Oh,
Hemingway, huh?
interesting.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense because he was a war vet.
Yes, he and he had no diagnosed concussions because they couldn't do anything back then because they didn't have the scans.
Yeah, they
and
probably just
whatnot.
told him to smoke cigarettes to get rid of it.
But he was like he used the word concussion, like he knew, like there were some medical journals that knew about concussions and he knew he had some, but like we're just starting to learn a little bit about it now. But back then there was one instance in particular I remember from the interview. He, I think, was on a motorbike drunk and just like slammed into a wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
Yikes.
yeah,
That sounds like a pretty Hemingway thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I just finished my first Hemingway book. It was very good.
he was a poet, right? He wasn't just
He
an
was a
author.
lot of different
He
kinds
was,
of
Okay.
writers.
yeah, but mostly I think a novelist
Yeah.
or like short storyist. I don't think he was much of a poet.
And they were contributing a lot of his like mood swings and like
Yeah, because that
bipolar
is like very erratic
things,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
One of the things was this might have been the same story. Maybe he wasn't driving; his friend was. And he said that they had decided on his friend driving because, quote, his friend was no drunker than Hemingway himself.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh. Well, straight up in this this book I read, it was For Whom the Bell Tolls. They're just drinking all the time. Like, it's just nonstop alcohol flowing into Hemingway's, or at least his surrogate. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
clearly supposed to be him,
Mhm.
just drinking nonstop.
And that takes place during wartime?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Spanish Civil War.
And kind of
huh.
interesting. You guys know how Hemingway died?
Yeah,
How'd he die?
committed suicide with a shotgun.
He was cleaning his shotgun, according to his
Ah.
wife.
Huh.
Even though
Yeah.
that she had found him with the shotgun to his head a couple of times before.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
CT.
Yeah, one of the things, to get back to Ben Franklin real quick, because I do want to hear your
I thought we
take.
were going back to Comey.
I do want to hear
Or
your take on the
J.
J. Edgar movie. But one of the most
We know what we're
interesting
talking
things
about.
that I've heard people read from Ben Franklin's diary is his schedule. So I won't read the whole thing here, but it's very, very
Wake up,
interesting.
have intercourse with wench. Take a nap.
It says, rise, wash, and address powerful goodness. And powerful goodness is in italics.
That
so
means masturbation. That's exactly what that means.
probably so. Yeah, well, I mean, knowing his sexual history, I don't think that masturbation was in his
I
wheelhouse.
can't touch it. My hands will fall off.
You think Trump will end up replacing Comey with Coney?
2012, yeah.
Yes. I was about to say, if we keep screwing it up as much as we are, Jim Comey did the experiment in 1952. 1752. See, this is what I'm talking about.
All right, but anyway, so Tyler, let's hear your hot take on the J. Edgar movie.
A little bit below average. A little bit below average movie. I don't remember much of the plot other than the like side plot that he was gay with like his number one assistant or something along those lines. He
But
was
extremely embarrassed about it.
He was a bad person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was a terrible person.
Not
kept a lot
good
of files.
dude. Definitely blackmailed a lot of people.
Yeah, well done movie. It was a very nice looking movie. But
Clint
like,
Eastwood directed it.
Yes. I'm a big fan of Clint Eastwood. I enjoy his westerns. Haven't seen $1 Million Baby.
I never have either.
Yeah.
That's the Clint Eastwood movie that everyone says to watch.
Yeah. Let's see. The end of Gran Torino made me cry. So I enjoy Clint Eastwood work. But J. Edgar, not his most memorable piece. Neither was it Leonardo DiCaprio's most memorable piece. It's interesting though. It's interesting. It's worth one watch, not worth another watch.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, when I was like home from school, sick or something like that one day.
Half thumbs up.
I just remember that it's all about like the primary story. At least starts with the kidnapping of Charles Lindbergh's baby.
I remember nothing
and
of that.
That was like a big unsolved case that the FBI took on.
I have it on Blu-ray though. It looks pretty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you have this movie on Blu-ray.
J. Edgar, yes.
But you don't really like it.
No. This is back before I got Netflix, so I was like, hey, I might want to watch this movie. Good.
I have Gran Torino on Blu-ray just because I hadn't seen it, and it was in like I was on Black Friday, and it was like
you know what, you're
in $5.
You're right, because I did that with Reservoir Dogs
Yeah.
Blu-ray, and I do not like Reservoir Dogs.
Okay. I haven't seen it all the way through yet. I hate Pulp Fiction.
Oh, see, this is where I
I think-
disagree, because I love Pulp Fiction is one of my top 5 favorite
Pulp
movies.
Fiction is very overrated.
Pulp
to
Fiction
me.
is way above Reservoir Dogs in my opinion, but I like them both.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here.
I'm not a huge Tarantino fan.
But
I do like his recent stuff though.
It's weird because I am a Tarantino fan in that Pulp Fiction's my favorite of his movies and one of my favorite movies, but I don't really like a lot of his movies. I'm not a big Tarantino fan. I think Inglourious Bastards is crazy overrated.
I'll give you that.
I'll admit, Glorious Bastards, I need to give it another chance because I watched it like when it first was released on DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever, and I never watched it again. But I at the time couldn't stand having to read subtitles and that opening scene that's like 20, 30 minutes long conversation in subtitles.
I love that scene.
And I would probably like it now because now subtitles don't bother me.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like a middle schooler, or like
right.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean, and I think part of, like, I think it's overrated in general, but I think part of the reason I go to that as my example is because being around film students and how much they love Inglourious Bastards, because it really strokes the film ego, like really, really.
So
hard.
many of Quentin Tarantino's movies do.
Yeah. But also then, like, the textbooks were like, isn't Inglourious Bastards an amazing film? And I'm just like, God, I can't escape it.
No, it's a movie.
Man, I think it's great. I'm not a huge fan of the Hateful Eight. I think that one dragged.
Is that the one with
most recent one with?
I thought it was a cool. It was a cool one, but it wasn't
Samuel
his
L.
best.
Jackson.
It was just like it was worth the watch, but not a second watch.
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
Pulp Fiction, I've watched probably 40 times at least.
And
Hateful
I'd watch
Eight,
it again.
Hateful, yeah, I watch it anytime it's on.
That's where
Django's my favorite.
I love Django
I actually
too.
did
Samuel L.
enjoy
Jackson
Django.
says dingus in.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight is definitely my least favorite. I think Jackie Brown's probably my second least
I haven't
favorite.
seen
The only
Brown
thing that really
yet.
makes Hateful Eight for me is that scene where Samuel L. Jackson's coming up and says
Talking
dingus.
about
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Talking about
really-
his dingus, yeah.
I'll be honest with you. That's probably my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie is Hateful Eight.
Really?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. Well
Here.
then, oh wait, did you say you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs?
Haven't seen Reservoir
Okay,
Dogs through
yeah.
all the way.
If you like Hateful Eight, I don't know how you couldn't like Reservoir Dogs.
It is kind of like that.
See, now I'm like, maybe I should not watch Hateful Eight because, again, did not like Reservoir Dogs.
The thing about Reservoir Dogs is, it's a bit dated. I already know the twist at the end. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Well,
It seems very small and contained for me.
I don't know if anyone watches the YouTuber Nerd Writer. Does a bunch of great video essays. He just did a video about how not dated Reservoir Dogs is. And while I
Well,
can
tell him to fight me.
well, no,
You gotta beat him up.
there's a lot about it that I can respect, but again, I don't like it. It doesn't come through for me in as a whole.
I'm a big fan of Reservoir Dogs, big fan of Pulp Fiction, big fan of Django,
Again, love.
I like
Pulp
Django.
Fiction.
That's probably my second favorite.
big fan of Kill Bills, but I would say
Kill Bill's good.
I
Yeah.
I
haven't
do
seen
not
him.
like Kill Bill either.
I would say the second Kill Bill is probably my third least favorite Tarantino movie.
The
What?
first one is way better.
What did you just say?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
confusing.
the
second
first
Kill
Kill
Bill's my
Bill
third.
is better than the second one. That
I haven't
will
seen the second
give
one. I've
you-
only seen the first.
Oh, see,
Okay.
I think that's what it is. The second is kind of disappointing.
Aren't there
really.
3?
They want to do a third, but
yeah. Hopefully
there's
there will be a third at some point to wrap it up.
Hopefully there'll be a third Hellboy. More after the break.
Excellent timing, Tyler. It is time for our first break, so we'll be back here in about 10 minutes. We'll get around to some pop culture. back from our first break. This is Prime Nation Live. It's May 10th. So we're going to talk about some pop culture. And first order of business is yesterday, a state of emergency was declared in Washington State. Because apparently, up in silly old Washington State, they have an old nuclear bomb production facility where they would irradiate uranium and turn it into plutonium and then ship it underground to be turned
Irradiate?
Yes.
What does that
irradiate. Make it radioactive. Treat it with chemicals to activate the radioactive properties.
And
Essentially like turning uranium into plutonium.
And then they'd ship it somewhere else?
Yeah, they would ship it under about 30 miles of underground tunnels to, it's still technically the same facility, but it's where they would construct the actual bombs.
And uranium's not radioactive on its own?
I'm sure it has like inert radiation that they had to activate. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be safe to just touch uranium.
What is innate? I'm not trying to be difficult. What is innate radiation?
Inert, like it's
motionless radiation.
like
that's innate, right? Or is
no,
inert?
inert is
Okay.
motion is motionless.
like
Innate means
not
natural.
active.
yeah.
Okay.
Inert is essentially like not active.
Okay.
So it probably I don't think if you dropped it, it would cause an explosion
Okay,
or
so
anything, which I don't even think that's how plutonium works.
So they made it radioactive to ship it underground?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because they had to activate the radioactive properties and then send it to the facility that made it into bombs.
Oh, okay. I thought they were doing this to get rid of it.
No.
Okay, all right.
So, but that brings us to
Disregard the last 5 minutes.
it shut down production in 1957. Again, this was a place that was activating uranium, turning it into plutonium, which would then be made at the same facility into nuclear bombs. It was one of the original Manhattan Project sites. So it's closed production in 1957. So since 1957, they've been taking measures to bury not only all the radioactive material, but also all the transportation devices that they used. So it was primarily rail cars. So they have a series of tunnels that are just filled with these rail cars that contain, uranium rods. They say hundreds of billions of gallons of radioactive waste are just in this whole facility. So whether that's in the tunnels and the rail cars, all that stuff. Anyway, the state of emergency was declared because one of the tunnels that houses those irradiated rail cars collapsed yesterday. Roughly a 20 by 20 foot section of the tunnels
That's
collapsed.
what they wanted to do, isn't it?
No.
They wanted to bury it.
Well, they wanted to bury it, but then it collapsed and opened up. So now all that radiation is leaking out into the atmosphere.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotcha.
It caved in and opened up a
Okay.
big 20 by 20 foot hole.
Sinkhole. All right.
Exactly, yeah, pretty much. So now they're not even really sure how to go about filling it without widening the hole because, you can't just pour it into there because then it might just eat away at the rest of the soil. See, what happened is they buried everything, all the radioactive waste and the tunnels and everything, under 8 feet of soil. So I guess that in the 50s at least was like the standard for anti-radiation.
So why don't they want to pour more soil in?
Well, I mean, that might be what they want to do, but they're trying to figure out ways to fix the problem without making it worse, because from what I read here, they're thinking if they just start pouring soil in, it'll just weaken the bottom soil and make it cave in further, because essentially that's what happened to cause this cave-in. But the real meat of the story for me is that this place has been decommissioned since 1957. They've been taking measures to bury and clean up everything. Apparently, they started the final...
I do that too when I clean up and I sweep things under the rug.
Bury.
Yeah, this is like what my dog does on the walk.
If only it were that simple, though. Apparently, they started the final cleanup phase in the mid-'90s. It was supposed to be done in 2007. Here it is, 2017. They say they're not even halfway done. They haven't even started treating any of the radioactive waste. So it's been over 20 years, $19 billion in cleaning this stuff up, and they haven't even started treating any of it. So in the Northwest, we have a stockade of hundreds of billions of gallons of radioactive waste that is now exposed to the atmosphere. So
Neat.
it's a relatively serious situation.
Nothing I can do about it.
Nothing any of us can do about it except for, get the word out there so that smarter people can flock to Washington and hopefully get paid for their work. But if not, figure out how to stop this before Washington State turns into those the fish from The Simpsons with 3 eyes and stuff. That's pretty likely.
All right, doctor.
It is right next to the Columbia River, though. Let's
Good.
see.
I don't like Colombia.
Well,
Terrible country.
what's that based on?
They're in the South America.
I don't think it's that Columbia that we're talking about. But
oh, it's Columbia, South Carolina.
so they have a picture here. I'm looking at NPR.org. They updated this as of 5 p.m., 5:45 p.m. yesterday.
NPR is a .org?
Yeah.
Indeed.
It is an organization. It's run by the government, technically.
Yeah, that's right.
They might still operate on the laws that you have to give both sides equal time.
Okay, yeah.
Even though that hasn't been around since the 80s, I think they still try to do that.
That's
So
a good
did
policy
anyone
to have.
interview the nuclear waste?
Well, I think it just happened yesterday. The governor of Washington has been quoted as saying there are many questions about how the collapse happened. We'll have to get to the bottom of that. At the moment, we're focusing on the safety of workers and making sure there's no release beyond the immediate site. So they sent all non-essential personnel home. They've directed the essential personnel to avoid the tunnel, but they're still, within a pretty close proximity to this leaking radiation, which I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, the half-life of radioactive waste is not 40 years. It's way longer than that. So I imagine that even being in the, proximity of this open sinkhole is very dangerous, but obviously none of us are, nuclear experts. But like I said, it's a pretty serious situation, not only because of the leaking radioactive waste, but because we have this stockpile here. So now that we have, it's not only in the public eye that there's a stockpile of radioactive waste. Now it's actually open, leaking into the atmosphere. So if anyone were to, plan any sort of attack or anything like that, I can't help but feel like this would be, danger zone number one.
Highway to the danger zone.
Good old Kenny Loggins. We need him now more than ever.
Yeah, maybe he'll clean it up personally.
Kenny
with his own bare
Loggins,
hands.
as in
Kenny logs into his Facebook.
no, islands in the stream.
Is that Kenny
what we
Loggins?
are. Is it?
I don't think so.
That's
Let me
Kenny Chesney.
No, it's not Kenny
I think
Chesney.
that's a like a girl band, isn't it?
No. That is.
Islands in the street.
I'm pretty sure it's him and
open
Dolly
beer
Parton.
Cans in my truck.
Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. Okay.
Kenny Rogers, that's
Okay.
who it is. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Sydney Roberts.
Kenny Rogers, I hardly know him.
So, Washington State, anyone who lives there, be safe.
Get out.
Yeah, you probably want to buy some hazmat suits.
Anyone who lives there, don't.
Anyone who lives there won't be longer.
Yeah, I got to imagine that they
That
got
was
to...
almost a sentence I said.
Well, were you guys? I lived near the North Carolina nuclear problem a couple years ago when that
the
happened.
undetonated bomb?
No, they didn't detonate a bomb. Just the
No, the
nuclear.
undetonated bomb.
No, not even that. I'm talking about just the nuclear plant that had a leak and they were evacuating everyone in the city.
I didn't even hear about that.
Where?
Or I'm sure I did, but I don't remember
it. Was in Apex. I remember waking up. I didn't have to evacuate. It was just like everyone else did.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains why you are the way you are.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing about this is, because
control
we've
your
all,
bowels.
any time that they're thinking about building a nuclear energy facility, they have to go around and hold all kind of town halls and make sure that the residents, if not approve of it, at least know of the risks and everything. But this wasn't just a nuclear energy facility. They had 9 nuclear reactors on this site where they, like I said, were producing radiation for nuclear weapons.
They need some nuclear proactors instead of some reactors.
But that brings me to my point is that I think we really got ourselves into quite a mess by investing so much into nuclear energy before we really understood it.
I don't think anybody disagrees.
Yeah, hopefully not. People who are making money off of it, I'm sure, disagree because people are still opening up nuclear facilities all around the world and the country. But we still, even in 2017, don't have a full grasp of the ecological implications, of the physical health implications for humans and animals.
I'm blindsided. Completely.
And with
taken
that,
aback.
we'll get around to some slightly more fun news.
When I think fun, I think Uber assaults.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is going to be the new Webster Merriam definition here in a couple years. So in Nashville, Tennessee, good old Michael Ower.
I was just there. This could have been me.
Well, it happened on April 14th.
It was me.
Oh, man.
I was Michael Ower.
Michael Ower was...
How do you say his last name?
Ower, I'm pretty sure.
Ower?
Yeah.
Ower.
Ower.
All right.
Maybe Michael Ower was on his way to the Record Breakers comedy show. Or was it comedy festival?
It's a show.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that's where he was going. Who knows? And then he couldn't make it there because of this pesky Uber driver putting his hands on his face. So the story here is that Michael Ower and some associates of his, who Michael Ower, for those of you who don't know, Tyler's brilliant segue should have filled you in.
Yes.
He was the
Jennifer
subject.
Aniston's butt.
What?
Jennifer Aniston's butt.
Oh, that's Sandra Bullock, don't you mean?
Same thing.
Man.
It's the same
That's
thing.
not the same thing.
Not
That's
at all
her
the
on the
same
right.
thing. No, I gotta
if you
say,
want me to get closer to the butt, I can.
Get closer to the one on the right.
I am. That's what I was going to do. Thank you for spoiling the joke.
I'm sorry, Tanner. I don't
He's
trust
got a
you.
back fupa.
You ever seen?
you
when
gotta
it was-
attribute that to the football pads, hopefully.
You ever seen someone's twig and berries somehow pushed over to the right on their back, on the back side? That's what it looks like.
What?
It looks like his crotch, but it's his butt.
Look, I don't know about any of
I
that.
think it's an
mumbo
optical
jumbo.
illusion. You guys remember
Yes.
how, like, in old advertising, they used to, like, give people a third leg or something like that? So, yeah, not like that. But they would, like, throw in something visually weird just so it would stick out in your head. Have you guys seen those?
No.
Here's his crotch.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
Oh, got the check. It's good to go.
But, yeah, maybe for that movie poster, they just reversed his bottom half so that, you know, it would be visually appealing.
Do you think he's got it tucked in that picture? Tucked up in his waistband?
He's trying to conceal it from the cameras. He was a little too excited.
He's on the Panthers.
Yeah, anyway.
And the Panthers don't stand for stuff like this. Like, any type of transgression whatsoever, you're in a fight, you're arrested for anything. You hit your wife, you hit your girlfriend, you hit your mistress, you hit your daughter, you hit your son,
because
you
the
hit your other
NFL
mistress,
at large
any of them.
is generally pretty receptive to that type of behavior.
The Panthers are not. Like, the guy that owns it, I think he also owns Hardee's. That's neither here nor there.
Carl Hardy Sr.?
Somewhere in between.
I think it's something Richardson.
Terry Richardson?
No, not Terry Richardson. Michael Richardson.
Huh.
Is that the Michael Richards? Is he the guy that?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
This guy does not like any type of tomfoolery on his football team. That's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of the Panthers.
Cool.
Is
Yeah.
because I hate football as a whole and I hate the football culture.
Yeah.
Right.
That you can do whatever you want and get away with it. If he hears anything about like the one guy that did, I think there was one guy that was like being investigated for hitting his girlfriend that was on the Panthers. Out. Just being
Wow.
investigated. Out.
Huh. Well, I'm interested to see how this affects Ower then.
I doubt
because-
he'll make it to next season.
Well, he turned himself in. So to finally get to what actually happened, again, Michael Oher was the subject of The Blind Side and now plays for the Carolina Panthers. Apparently, he was in Nashville around April 14th, and on that day, an Uber driver claims that Michael Oher assaulted the Uber driver, but the Uber driver admitted himself that he put his hands on Michael Oher's face, and then Michael Oher pushed him away. Apparently, it started because Michael Oher was supposed to be following an associate of his in this Uber, and the Uber driver said he knew a quicker way to get there, so just let him take the lead. And apparently, Michael Oher thought he was just trying to swindle him out of money or something like that. So he kept telling him to pull over. He wanted to get a new Uber. The Uber driver finally pulled over only because some of the passengers needed to use the restroom. So they pulled over to a gas station. The Uber driver says that he got out to open the door for the females who needed to use the restroom, and at that point, Michael Oher got out and started like screaming at him. So the Uber driver put his hands on Michael Oher's face, and then Michael Oher pushed him. That was the extent of the assault.
He might be okay then.
Yeah,
And
also like when you tell your driver you want to get out, they should let you out.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why anyone in their right mind would touch an NFL player's face, especially Michael Oher, who I'm pretty sure is like a linebacker. I can't imagine
he's on the front line.
Yeah, I can't imagine he weighs less than 250 pounds.
I don't know if he's defense or offense.
He is massive. So, we only have one side of the story so far. Michael Oher did turn himself in, so he's not being combative. He's trying to play by the rules, play ball, if you will.
Yeah.
But
can't have Mama Sandra mad at him.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Plus, old Taco Bell dad.
I never actually saw The Blind Side.
It's pretty good.
It is really it's a good movie. It's
I don't like football, and I liked it.
I don't know. It's pretty run of the mill in terms of visuals and stuff like that, but the story itself is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Wasn't it from the person who directed Remember the Titans?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I love Remember the
Very
Titans.
similar in tone and stuff like that.
Tanner, are you speaking into the correct part of the microphone?
I don't know. The microphone is going.
Oh, now you
okay, hold on. Let me move this. There we go. Perfect.
Let's see. John Lee Hancock was the director. Let's
Nice.
find out what else. He's Saving Mr. Banks, which is a really good movie.
Oh, Saving Mr. Banks was actually good.
That's I cried like a baby at Saving Mr. Banks.
Really?
Yeah.
I was with a bunch of old people, and they were the worst. They
Oh,
were
really?
like the worst freaking audience to see a movie with.
I've never even seen Mr. Poppins and Saving Mr. Banks. Wait, did I say Mr.
You
Poppins?
said Mr. Poppins.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that's another timely line.
Mr. Poppins.
But yeah, I've never seen Mary Poppins and Saving Mr. Banks.
I've never seen Mr. I almost called it Mr. Poppins too. I've never seen Mary Poppins either, but I did like Saving Mr. Banks, except the old people that were in my theater who wouldn't shut up about every. I feel like once you're that age, you just don't care, and you're just like, I'm going to say whatever I want.
You've earned the right.
Yeah,
or at least you feel that way.
Exactly.
All of us youngins don't agree. But anyway, it was not the same director from Remember the Titans.
Gotcha.
But so he turned himself in. We only know of the Uber driver's story, which I'm not, I always want to think that people wouldn't make something like that up. But how out of your mind do you have to be to willingly touch an NFL player's face who you already know is mad at you?
Maybe he thought he could get more money out of him.
Maybe so. And like that's what I'm getting at is that this feels like, if it's not an outright lie, it feels like a way to just get a quick settlement or something like that. Like you get an NFL driver or player jump in your car.
An NFL driver are more expensive than Uber drivers.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more prestigious than Uber. But like Tanner said, I mean, if you're an Uber driver and you have a passenger requesting to get out, let him out.
I want to see
Why
Downtown
wouldn't you?
Abbey.
Downtown Abbey?
Top right.
I've never
Thanks
watched.
for the screen we can't cut to, Cameron.
You're welcome.
Why do you want to see that? Thank you, Cameron.
Yeah, you should probably move on. Don't wait for me. to
Sydney
come up with
closed
something.
out of every tab. He's,
No, I was
Cameron
trying
can't
to-
get distracted.
Yeah, that was,
Please remove all visuals from
that
me.
was my goal there. So Michael
Cameron,
Oher,
what's the last football movie you saw?
It might be The Blind Side, and I did not like it.
Oh, you like it?
I don't know if there's ever been a football movie I liked.
Movie.
Oh,
I don't know if there's been anything football related I've liked.
You didn't like Remember the Titans?
No.
I'm not a big sports guy. I'm not a big football guy. I hate football. I hate a lot of the culture surrounding a lot of organized sports.
Because you know what? Anytime there's like some sort of dramatic like football movie or whatever, like the main thing it comes to is like they're having some sort of issue or problem, and it's like real stressful
And it's solved by
dramatic.
playing the game.
Right. And then it's just like, if I were like, I think in my head, like, if it's so bad, just quit playing. Like, just don't play.
Read
this.
a book.
Like, just get rid of football.
Yeah.
I think it's timely again to bring up Hemingway had CTE and shot himself.
Yep. So football players, that's the future you got coming to you. At least, did Hemingway make any money before he died off of his works?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
he was a very prolific author while he was alive.
Okay, good deal. I always hate to hear that when artists never make any money
Yeah.
until they die.
Mhm.
There was some. Never mind. It was going to be a tangent because I don't think it's Hemingway. Somebody else had a stalker, but they were in that same type of like late 19th century, early 20th century famous writer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
no, wasn't him. Fellas, I don't know the name. I apologize. I don't read books.
Well, before we take our second break, let's talk about this pineapple. Tanner, you posted the story. It's pretty hilarious.
I just like it. So in some
That one.
yeah,
Okay.
it's some art gallery somewhere. Someone left a pineapple on the floor, and the next day they found that it was in a glass case as a piece of art.
We
Yeah,
can
so-
agree that the majority of abstract expressionism is BS, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
like this
Okay.
just goes to back up pretty much everyone's point that modern art these days is absolutely ridiculous.
In this picture, look at the other things he's competing with.
you got like a car engine type thing.
Yeah, so no wonder there was a frickin' pineapple, and they're like, "Oh my god, it it symbolizes the way we just screwed over the Hawaiian Aborigines."
I really
Nice, Tanner.
I wish that we could have. I'm sure they have it, but I wish that we could see the security footage of whoever sees the pineapple and is like, "Oh, what happened to the glass? Let me go get that glass." Because like this dude got it as a prank, and he didn't even give it to leave it at the art display as a prank. He did it for something else, but he left it there because of the original prank he wanted to play didn't work out. So someone had to have gotten this whole glass display and adjusted this pineapple so that it's kind of like smushed down under the glass, which is supposed to be the artistic expression of it somehow. But yeah, it just goes to show what everyone has been saying for a decade now, that modern art, quote unquote, is absolutely ridiculous.
And some of these, like the festival director said, "We really have no idea who did it. It was very clear to us it was a prank, but we have decided to leave it there because it's in keeping with the playful spirit of the festival. You don't want to admit you screwed up.
Exactly.
You don't want to admit you put a piece of fruit someone bought for $3.
Is Ja Rule doing art now? Boom, gotcha.
This
Got
is
your
his
jaw rule.
recovery method.
Yeah.
Come fight me, jaw rule.
Just modern art is something else. I mean, Cameron, you're an artist. What do you think of
and
modern
he's
art?
this type of artist too.
Like that kind of. I mean, like I can find that stuff, cool, I guess. But I mean, it is really funny that was. Yeah, I mean, like technically that is art. Technically, someone setting that down and that becoming a piece. I mean, technically that is the creative process was the fact that they made it in the art museum on a whim by just setting down their pineapple. I mean, like
You wrote Punis.
I wrote
on
Punis.
your paper.
That's art.
That's technically art.
That's technically
Everything's art, and maybe we need to shift the standards.
The way I see it is if it gives you an emotional reaction, you can view it as art.
Oh,
But
fine.
there's-
That is art. It made me angry.
There's so many people who I think force themselves to have an emotional reaction because things are called art.
Let me actually say this because I kind of like I know almost this is sort of the same thing as like the film movie argument we've gotten into where like it's like you'll hate that sort of mentality of like, oh, this is an artistic piece of cinema. Like I get that because I hated that before, and I hated abstract art and I hated like modern art and simplistic stuff. Like how is that constituted as art? And it was like my same frustration with poetry before I understood it. It was like, what? This is a poem? These 4 lines that anybody could have written down? And it's like that's what makes creativity and art what it is, that something that simple and effortless can be of merit and value, because it's all about the emotional response that somebody else has to it, and that when you do something very simple and don't put a lot of thought into it, it's just about experimenting and seeing what kind of reactions that thing elicits. And I think by doing minimal work, like putting just a pineapple on a table, it's not going to elicit one specific reaction from a bunch of people. It's going to elicit like
a bevy of reactions.
Right, yeah. But like when you take the time to really hone in on something, you are creating a more specific reaction, most likely. Like when you are like, oh, I'm going to do this, to do that, and this and that, and then to pile all these things, you are creating a more specific and focused, targeted reaction. And your goal there is probably to workshop that and see how people are reacting to it so you can make the necessary changes to hone in and really make sure that you're getting the point, your intended point across. Yes, Tyler, I'll take your question.
First question, is this art, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, follow-up question. Because he is not an artist and it was not intended to be art, is it still art?
Yes.
All right.
Well, to go along with everything you were saying, like art, every art is subjective, and that's why you can't necessarily call things not art if it makes someone feel the way that art makes them feel.
Yeah.
Is there an oversaturation of art right now?
No. Can't have too much of it.
Okay.
But with abstract
hurting?
expressionism,
What's the quality?
But what's that matter?
I like quality art.
Great. Well, there's quality art that exists.
I don't like having to sift through the doo-doo to find it.
It's like saying this. It's like saying this. It's like, I don't like spicy wings. I don't like the way it makes my mouth feel, so we should get rid of them. That shouldn't be available to anybody.
Okay, I don't like the poo-smeared wings. We should get rid of those. They're not healthy for
Well, then
anybody.
don't order
and
the
they're
poo
annoying.
smeared wings.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not ordering this art. It's just coming into my life.
all right, well, guys, we got to take our second break, rather. But I do want to continue this discussion. Well, maybe we'll continue it off air, but hopefully we can talk about it when we get back.
We
from
need
the
the
break.
problem solver.
So I think it warrants some more discussion. There's
No,
more
I
to be
agree.
gleaned out of this. But we are going to take our second break for the day, guys. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes. Stick around till then.
Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live, so tune in to see who wins. Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live, so tune in to see who wins. Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live, so tune in to see who wins. Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live, so tune in to see who wins. Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live, so tune in to see who wins. Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live, so tune in to see who wins. Hey guys, it's Tyler Wood here from Prime Nation. I'm here to give you another graphic novel. This time we've got The Living Finger by Garth Matthews. We're very excited to be giving this away live on the Prime Nation Live YouTube channel May 19th. For your chance to win, all you have to do is share this video either on Twitter or Facebook for your chance to enter. And you can enter up to twice a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be giving away this fine comic book May 19th on Prime Nation Live. So tune
Back from our second break. It's May 10th. This is Prime Nation Live. So we might get back around to our art discussion later on. But first, let's make sure to cover the pressing matter. Fireworks Oreos. Tanner, again, you posted this. You want to fill us in?
Okay, so they're out with these new fireworks.
Fill it in? No, never mind.
I hardly know her.
So we've got these fireworks Oreos now. So I guess you've got popping candy in the what do you call that? Just icing
Cream filling.
In the cream filling.
Again, we need to specify these are not Pop Rocks. They're on a delay. So apparently you bite into them.
Oh, wow.
And about 10 seconds later they start popping.
Technology, man.
Uh-huh.
Oreo's pushing boundaries. So basically they released these and, limited time presumably, but mainly the big thing is they put out a competition. So the next person to come up with a new flavor of Oreos gets $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
And just some of the ones I wanted to bring up that I've seen suggested so far include the Mojito Oreo.
Which I think sounds absolutely disgusting.
I do, too.
Never had a mojito.
This one I actually don't mind as much. Hazelnut Coffee Oreo.
Yeah, that sounds pretty decent.
I don't drink coffee.
And, well, what about this one? Cheesecake Oreo.
I don't like cheesecake.
I hate you, Tyler.
I know. This is
All right.
about this or the art.
Tyler,
About
come on,
everything.
man. What's your $500,000 pitch for Oreos then?
Yeah, I want to go around. I've already got mine, and I've already tweeted at
Pizza
Oreo,
sauce Oreos,
so you guys can't steal my
SpaghettiO
ideas.
Oreos.
Because
Double-
I've got some pretty groundbreaking ones here.
Double stuff, chocolate, cookies and cream Oreos. So we're taking what is an Oreo and then putting it inside an Oreo.
It's like as above, so below.
Yes.
Like the
We go to hell in France.
Well, it's like the concept that possibly within every atom is a whole new universe.
I got one. Venison Oreos.
There's actually an interesting new
Veal
theory
Oreos.
as to how the universe came to be. Is that
Oreos.
pretty much there's like a starting point or an infinitely dense star that then is put into a black hole, and then since it's condensed so far into a black hole, it actually causes a big bang on the other side of the black hole, and that creates a new universe.
I buy it.
So we could call these black hole Oreos.
Oh,
because
nice.
it
I like
is
that.
an
Yeah.
Oreo contained within an Oreo
I like
with
that.
chocolate.
So to submit your idea, you just tweet to Oreos.
You tweet using the hashtag #MyOreoCreation and hashtag contest. And you can also text to the number, I believe it's 59526. I like I said, I went ahead and covered my bases so that whenever I share my ideas here, no one can steal them. So I'm pretty happy with my suggestions. It's 59526. So
We
text that
also
number
have we
for
also
Oreo
have a call-in
suggestions.
number, by the way.
Very true. You can find that during the break.
If our great listeners want to call in.
Yeah, and by great listeners, we don't mean you, Jeremy Bivens, meanie.
I worked very hard on that commercial, Jeremy. Okay.
Jeremy's just not with the times. He doesn't understand the edit, the quick cuts.
Jeremy's
Well-
a Renaissance man, but he's not a humble one.
In
He's
Jeremy-
kind of a d-bag about it.
That's
In-
what Renaissance men are.
In Jeremy's defense, I will say
Oh,
that though that commercial was art, it was lazy art, and I don't think that there was a lot of direction behind it.
If you would put a pineapple on that screen instead of Tyler, is
You're
it
damn
art?
right it was art, 'cause I didn't get paid for that.
no,
That was free
see that commercial
art for you.
That commercial wasn't even a pineapple set on a table; it was a grape dropped on the floor.
Well, also,
Tyler's the negative one.
you got to keep in mind that Tyler has absolutely zero training in any of that stuff. He
I
never,
am a gorilla.
never went to
I'm a
film
dumb
school
gorilla.
like anyone else in the room.
You're lucky I didn't break the computer and try to eat it.
It also has limited editing technology, so I applaud any initiative taken here.
If I said that was iMovie, would you be impressed?
No.
You're being a gosh dang gooness right now.
So, Cameron, you've already given us such gems as venison and
Yeah, I would definitely
Pizza sauce.
I would
Yeah,
say,
pizza sauce.
I'd say venison Oreos, water Oreos. There's just a clear, flavorless paste in the middle, and I'd say Eucerin lotion Oreos.
all right. Tanner, you have any suggestions?
Oh, mayonnaise
Yeah, I
Oreos.
Oh, mayonnaise water Oreos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want Cheerwine Oreos. I want that partnership to happen.
That's pretty good.
not
I
bad.
want Rolo Oreos, like team up with
Ooh.
Rolos.
So like caramel Oreos?
yeah, veal Oreos.
Yep.
Get some ham and broccoli casserole Oreos.
Oh yeah,
and
broccoli
top-
cheddar ale.
Yeah, and top it all off with some Jack Daniel's Oreos.
You know, that I was just thinking red wine Oreos might not be terrible. Get some dark chocolate cookies with red wine in there.
Do they do like Passover Jewish themed Oreos where they have like Stars of David on them?
What about white chocolate Oreos?
I want Mazel Toreos.
I think they have
Mazel
white
Tov-
chocolate.
there it is.
Mazel-
Mazel Toreos.
That's great. I want to say that they do have like kosher Oreos and stuff like
are
that,
Jewish
like specially
Oreos a
made.
race?
I wasn't even asking about kosher. I was just asking if they have ones with Stars of David on them. They can
Well,
be
if they don't,
they can be bootleg for all I care.
that's a $500,000 idea right there. But let me give you guys my ideas. Like I said, no one jump on these. Pretty happy with them.
One's asking, Sydney.
We got horchata Oreo.
What is that?
You don't know
I
the
don't
cinnamon
either.
milk Mexican
No.
drink horchata? Oh, nope,
Mm-mm.
you're missing out. Then we got Neapolitan Oreos, regular Oreos, except one cookie is strawberry.
Oh, it's not even each one is 3 different flavors.
Oh, no.
See,
Oh,
I'll take that one.
Yeah, that one's cool. I like that. Kudos.
Mhm. And then peaches and cream, where you have peach flavored cookies.
When I said I'll take that one, I meant I'm going to take that and make it so each one is Neapolitan.
Oh, huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different idea.
2/3 of the work is already done for you. You already got the
3/5
chocolate.
compromise here, Sydney.
You already got the chocolate and the vanilla. I don't think Oreo wants to
Let me call
reinvent
him
the
up.
wheel here.
They said we're good to go. They heard the whole thing. They're listening.
Well, then it's going to be my $500,000.
I will Oreo fight you for it.
How do we orchestrate that?
We have an Oreo eating contest. Do we have to do this now?
Well, we
Yeah.
have to at least do an Oreo
I don't like
taste
Oreos.
test.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to win then.
Yeah,
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 me
you
too.
definitely would.
You can have a stand-in.
Oh, okay. I'll have to think about this.
Tanner looks like he eats stuff.
I do. I actually.
Tanner definitely eats stuff. I just don't know.
No, in high school back in high school, like senior, I think late junior year and senior year, we'd like get beer, Oreos, and pizza, and just like
Beer
watch movies.
Oreos. I didn't know they had that flavor.
They should. Actually, that's my new pitch. We'd get beer and Oreos and pizza and just like watch movies and play video games and have a good time.
As opposed to like any kind of lemon flavored cracker or cookie, rather,
You are a lemon
Oreos.
flavored cracker.
Oreos are definitely my least favorite cookie.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I think Oreos are kind of middle of the road.
Do you prefer Nilla wafers?
I like Nilla wafers.
I'd prefer Nilla wafers over Oreos. Yeah,
Wow.
I
prefer
would
Pepperidge Farm.
Actually, let me say
depends
that
on
at
the
least right
thickness
off
of
the
the
bat, double stuff should be the generic Oreo.
I agree, you
Yeah.
fat American.
Yes.
No, I agree. If you're gonna have Oreo, at least go all out with the double stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have you seen they do the triple stuff now?
I'm not surprised.
I don't know if I
yes.
want it.
How long to like get around a quadruple, quintuple? Why don't they just have just Oreo cream by now?
Well,
In a spray can.
Yeah, like Ready Whip.
And then you put it in between vanilla wafers the way it's meant to be.
Yeah, and you know what? That's my new pitch for a new $500,000 Oreo. Screw it, just eat it, you fatty Oreos.
They already have vanilla wafer Oreos because they have the white instead of the dark cookies.
yeah.
They have the white cookies.
Yeah, true.
Well, it was weird when they did Reese's Cup Oreos because it's like you already do peanut butter
They're not
Oreos.
that great.
Well, do you guys know about Hydrox?
Hydra. Hail Hydra.
Hydrox. So
Hydroxycut.
Bill knows Hydrox. Apparently, Hydrox were the precursor to Oreo, right? Yeah, and then Oreo kind of stole the idea and gave them chocolate cookies. Oh no, Hydrox even has chocolate. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So Bill's saying the original Oreo was a Hydrox. I thought that Hydrox at least had vanilla
What?
cookies with vanilla cream.
Look at that.
I didn't
It's
realize-
the exact same thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they even had chocolate cookies. Wow.
Hold on, I'm getting the image up in just a sec.
They sound like Hydrox sounds like an ancient evil being.
Look at
Doritos
this.
Locos
It's like the
Oreos.
exact same thing.
Apparently, Hydrox derived its name from the atoms that make up the water molecule, hydrogen and oxygen.
Oh, so they already did the water flavored Oreo.
Oh, get this. And that's right, because I do remember that these had like a religious bent to them. In 1908, the creators of the cookie were looking for a name that would convey purity and goodness. So I guess they kind of already beat you to the water.
Jesus cookies was
concept.
already taken.
They do have table water crackers.
I would I'd make a s'mores
That
flavor.
joke has the delay effect that the fireworks Oreo has. It's the exact same thing.
They have they already have s'mores Oreos, I'm pretty sure, but I
Yeah.
would rename it Oreos S'morios.
Yeah. Surely they're called S'morios,
My
right?
name's not Shirley.
What if they did? Because I'm just thinking of partnerships. What about Kool-Aid Oreos? Have they done that yet? Because if not, it feels like kind of a no-brainer.
I don't know about that. We got.
I'd eat it.
Yeah, I mean,
There's not much I wouldn't eat.
I'm sure
I've
there's
eaten
a
a fried
market for
Oreo.
it, but
You've eaten a what?
I've eaten a fried Oreo
Okay, that's not that bad.
at the State Fair. It was actually very good. It was that and fried Kool-Aid. The fried Kool-Aid was disgusting. The fried Oreo was actually solid.
I think if you coated an Oreo in Kool-Aid then fried it, that'd be better than having like Kool-Aid flavored.
I think if you
cream.
coated an Oreo in Kool-Aid and then you dipped it in butter and killed yourself, we'd all be better off.
It's coming to a state fair
Yeah, it's
near
coming to
you.
North Carolina State Fair this October.
So apparently Hydrox debuted in 1908, and then Oreos debuted in 1912. And Oreos were way more popular because they had more marketing going for them.
They'd have weird purity undertones to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
Yeah, maybe
I want to
Oreos-
have sex and still eat cookies.
So apparently the Oreo quickly exceeded Hydrox in popularity, which resulted in Hydrox becoming perceived as a knockoff. So that explains it.
Oh man.
Are they still alive? Is Hydrox still alive?
Yeah, apparently they were reintroduced in 2015 by
Wow,
Leaf Brands.
hipsters. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So this says, compared to Oreos, Hydrox cookies have a tangy, less sweet filling, and a crunchier cookie that gets less soggy in milk.
Nope.
So that's what it has
Do
going
not
for it.
want.
I'm not trying to eat oranges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
no,
Yeah.
I-
What do you mean by tangy?
That sounds way worse.
yeah, I
than,
don't.
than Oreo.
Huh.
General Zo's Oreo.
Are you just looking up the last things you've eaten?
No,
Oh no, you're tweeting these as they
Yeah,
come
oh,
out.
yeah, I-
Did you tweet pepperoni?
You tweeted
pizza
Peel, didn't
sauce?
you?
you want me to tell you the ones I've tweeted? Hold on, let me finish the General So's Oreo tweet. Here we go. All right, these are the ones I've done. I said venison Oreos, water Oreos, empty Oreos, Washington nuclear waste Oreos, Doritos Locos Oreos, Cheetos stuffed chicken Oreos.
Wait, what is a Cheeto stuffed chicken?
It's like those Burger King.
Cam, what's your Twitter handle again?
Camboy Smith.
CAMBOISMIF.
Yeah, and then I got real mayonnaise Oreos. Can I say that one above real mayonnaise Oreos?
I think you can.
Yeah, I guess it's not a cuss word. Human semen Oreos, and then most.
Wait, is that different from the dog one?
Yeah,
It's more tangy flavor.
yeah, and then General Tso's Oreos. Okay, maybe I should say specifically human semen from someone who smokes a lot of cigarettes Oreos.
You didn't pronounce that.
Cigarette Oreos. There we go.
You didn't pronounce that right.
What?
Cigarette.
Cigarette. Cigarette.
All right, but before we waste too much time and have to go into another break,
Before we waste too much time, let's go back in time and stop.
if only we could. Let's wait to talk about Hellboy, and let's instead talk about the 2 recent deaths that have affected people. First of all, Big Black Boykin, Christopher Boykin. He passed away yesterday, April 9th, or May 9th. Second time in a week I've confused April for May.
He's got a funny last name.
Boykin.
Boykin.
So from Robin Big fame, everyone who watched Robin Big surely remembers Big Black.
Oh yeah.
He passed away. They haven't released, at least the last time I looked it up, they haven't released the cause of death. He was 45 years old.
I'm going to guess either heart disease or diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, very clearly he was an abnormally large man. So I wouldn't be surprised to learn that it was something heart-related. Hopefully it was nothing violent. I mean, I think it goes without saying it was unexpected. But hopefully hopefully it didn't suffer too much. Details, still pretty much in the air. But that was quite shocking. I wouldn't have predicted that Big Black would pass away so soon. But granted, I haven't really thought about Big Black in a few years. Has anyone, Tanner? You seemed pretty passionate. Have you kept up with what he's been doing?
No, it's just I back in middle school, huge fan of Robin Big. We watched it all the time. Like I watched episodes over and over. And so yeah, this sucks.
And apparently, I was just looking into this last night. Apparently, they had a falling out, which is what led to Fantasy Factory. Like a whole spinoff show. But then
in the show, I remember they played it off that Big's girlfriend was pregnant,
Yeah.
and that was why he was leaving.
Yeah, and then apparently they made up later on, which is when Big Black started showing up on Fantasy Factory. So the falling out happened because Rob was starting to become famous from other stuff, and he didn't want to be known from the guy from Robin Big, and Big Black didn't want to be known as a sidekick. So yeah, your typical ego sort of falling out. Who knows what joys they could have provided.
The only thing I can add is I got to work with a writer from Ridiculousness.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Huh. Doing what, comedy?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
He's a Dead Crow.
Oh,
Ryan
sweet.
Connor.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's all I've got.
And they don't still make Fantasy Factory, do they?
No.
I think it's been done for a while.
Okay, yeah. And are they still doing Ridiculousness?
Yeah.
Because I know that Big Black has showed up at least once on there.
Yeah, they're still doing that.
Okay, interesting. I wonder what the last time Big Black was on there. I wonder when the last time he made any sort of public appearance was.
Excuse me.
Crab dip double stuffed Oreos. Here's a new one.
You guys know why I just yawned? I was very tired, up all night, finishing that promo.
The
one that's garbage.
Jeremy
that
just
grape
had to
on the floor?
destroy.
Yeah, that grape on the floor. Cameron, you're just so busy editing everyone else's. I was going to ask you to do it, but I know you're very, very busy. Very busy boy. Good editor.
Thanks.
Yeah, so it looks like his last thing was in a Bob Wyatt? No. Okay, I was about to say that's Big Ange. I guess his last appearance was on Ridiculousness. But another death, although more I don't want to say appropriate, but more expected, I guess, was Sam Weston, Stanley Weston, excuse me, Stanley Weston, who was the creator of G.I. Joe and Thundercats.
As I saw someone point out, he was basically the father of the action figure. That was his baby.
So apparently, yeah, he realized the success of Barbies in the 60s. So in 1963, he sold the concept to Hasbro that would later become G.I. Joe. And then also Thundercats started off as action figures. Did you guys know that?
Nope.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, Transformers, and after that, no one ever looked back.
Yeah. I would have figured, though, that with like a mythology as deep as Thundercats has, like it's always just, I wonder what the writing room was like when they just had all these action figures lined up on a wall. And were like, yeah, let's make sense of this.
Someone gave me a Transformers action figure when I was young, and I could not make it transform.
I know
Same here.
that was
They
one
were
thing.
hard.
The clunkiness of trying to make this thing back into a truck.
Yeah. And
you
like
could
if
do it once,
and then you forgot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you'd have friends come over and be like, "Oh, dude, can I make this into the robot?" No, you You got to leave it alone. Very,
it's
very
the truck
serious.
forever.
You know what? We were talking about Oreo partnerships. I want to see Transformers and Thomas the Tank Engine partner up, and those would be some cool toys.
Have Transformers ever turned into trains?
One would.
No, I
They
don't
turned
think
into
so.
dinosaurs, so they better have turned into frickin' trains.
Yeah, what is up with that? Like this last
Grimlock.
well, this Transformers movie that the trailers are showing now,
Mm.
they were like apparently there were Transformers on the Earth during like the Crusades.
Oh, okay. Here's what's so stupid about that to me. I actually saw Transformers 2 at a midnight release back in 2009. And the entire revelation in that movie is that Transformers have been on Earth since like before Christ. So I don't know why this new movie is painting it like that's a revelation. We've known this since the second movie.
Well,
the Transformers crucified Jesus, right?
yeah, I was about to say the crucifix was actually a Transformer.
Yeah.
That's a cool crossover I want to see.
The little nails in
Crossover?
his hands and feet were also Transformers, little small Transformers.
So what did when they said
They were
that?
cute.
What did they? So like they, why would they become dinosaurs when dinosaurs were around? What made them become cars?
Okay,
When cars
I
were
actually
around.
like, and this, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do like the original premise. Apparently, this was the original premise when they originally released, and they had a Marvel comic published to tie into the toys. They came to Earth, and they're like, all right, we need to blend in. So we're going to send out a pod to find out what the beings of this planet look like. And the pods just saw cars and trucks and vehicles. Tyler, you're shaking your head. Is this not true?
Cameron's writing hate speech to me. I apologize.
I
Wrote
Okay.
newness on his paper. It's not a real word.
That
Continue,
sounds right.
Tanner. Continue.
There's a
Well,
pod.
no, that's just this pod saw vehicles, and it's like, oh, that's what the beings of this planet look like, and then turned all the Transformers into vehicles.
oh, it's stupid.
yeah, I like
Wait.
it though.
Wait, how did they turn into like anthropomorphic robots?
This is where I don't understand. Well, no, they were anthropomorphic robots.
So they were already basically what people look like.
Yeah,
Yes.
because in every sci-fi make 'em up, everything looks like humans.
Going back to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, like even Alien to a certain extent, which is the groundbreaking
Yeah.
sci-fi epic.
Well, that one.
it doesn't look like a human, but it looks a lot like Earth creatures.
Yeah, two
Well,
arms, two
Well, in
four
fairness,
arms,
that's
two legs.
because of the whole thing where like the alien takes on the traits of the thing it infects.
But had that been established in that first movie?
No, I guess not. But I mean, whatever.
Well, I'm gonna look up so we can talk about it when we get back. Why are Transformers dinosaurs? Because I want to make sense of that, and then also why are they knights?
And is it art?
The groundbreaking questions we strive to answer.
I'll actually say no. I'll say no.
Oh, you'll say no. Is a Michael Bay movie art?
Yeah, it's the one exception. That
Pain and
everything
Gain
is
is a
art.
work of
Everything
art.
is art, and everybody is artists except Michael Bay and his movies.
All right, well, it's time for a third and final break, so we'll be back here in about 10 minutes, and we'll wrap up the show with some stuff that we are actually supposed to talk about. So stick around for the next 10 minutes, guys. Back from our third and final break. It is May 10th, Prime Nation Live. So I have some news that I'm reluctant to share with everyone. Apparently, my Neapolitan Oreo idea has already been claimed by who was it? Tiffany.
Tiffany Lynn, and she made a freaking graphic and everything.
Yeah, she definitely got me there. And it is my idea, not Tyler's stupid, idiotic Neapolitan cream idea. She capitalized on the strawberry cookie idea as well.
You got me.
But at least I know that I'm not alone in my thinking. Great minds
Oh,
do
the
think alike.
strawberry is the other thing?
The other cookie, yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
No, I think that's the logical way to do it,
I
Tyler.
think you should fight her.
Cream corn Oreos. There's
Cream
one.
corn.
That's a free one y'all can have.
Not,
Can you,
not
what,
terrible.
corn on the cuck?
Before we get on this
It's
again,
not even an Oreo thing. I just like Tyler's like, how can I work cuck into this?
I
Get out of
almost
your way.
wanted to say it with a Jew accent earlier.
oh god,
Cuck.
we need a counter. We should have a counter up on the screen of every
For
time.
cucks or Jews?
No, every time Tyler fits the word cuck in. We yeah, I know. We
I have a hard
Pick
time
the
fitting
counter.
cuck in, but
Cuck off.
so Tanner.
Speaking of cucks,
Oh.
I started.
whoa.
I started-
learned a little bit about Tanner today.
Okay, look. So when I was a kid, my family, we had a vegetable garden.
Yo, hold on. Let me tell you about my garden. real quick.
Yeah,
Hold
not
up.
sure. What are you going to connect these dots to the cuck reference?
Yes,
Okay.
somehow.
Let's
So-
settle in.
All right. You might want to unstrap your seatbelts. It's going nowhere. But what is going somewhere is I started a little tiny vegetable garden. You can see here. Got this thing here. That's a nice little coffee table right underneath it, so it can get some sunlight. And I planted 4 bean seeds and some cucumber seeds.
Any sensu beans?
No. And the beans and cukes have finally started sprouting. Here's some close-ups of the beans.
Man.
And here's some close-ups of the cucumbers.
This looks like a bunch of friggin' dirt to me.
Mm-hmm. But
It's,
I'm gonna come up with a nice graphic for this, and I'm gonna come back next week with an update, and it's gonna be the sickest garden you've ever seen.
Let me know when you start growing weed.
I don't doubt it.
Mm.
You need to call this segment groundbreaking gardening. You guys get it?
I'm not calling it that.
Call it
Well, all right.
groundhog.
You have to listen.
When I make $500,000 from Oreo, you'll be wishing you listened to my suggestions.
That's all us holding our breath, Sydney.
Me too.
Yeah.
So finally, let's get around to some things that we actually meant to talk about. So Hellboy is being rebooted. Not no more Ron Perlman, no more Guillermo del Toro.
Ugh.
Instead, what was the ugh? You wish it was, or you
those
tired
are good
of those
movies.
guys? Oh yeah. So
I don't think they're very good.
They're not good, but I love them for some reason. I don't know what it is.
We talked about this a little before the show started. Ron Perlman is amazing casting.
Yes.
He is freaking great in that role. So it's weird that they're hyping up this reboot with the intention of saying, like, yeah, and we're totally not getting Ron Perlman, guys, even though people liked him.
I like the Abraham guy, too.
yeah, that was Andy Serkis, I think, who played him.
Okay.
Or do they have
Oh, wait,
people
are you
in
talking about
mind?
the squid guy?
He's not a squid. He's Fishman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not, it's the other, not motion capture, it's the costume guy.
Moshe
who's a-
Kasher?
I forget. It's not Andy Serkis,
I used to
though.
confuse him with Ari Shaffir.
It is not Andy freaking Gardening
Milonakis.
Circus.
Andy Gardening Circus?
I don't know. Trying to tie it all together. I think I'm doing a good job.
Oh yeah, you left out that cuck connection.
We don't need a cuck
Cuck
connection.
connection.
I am the cuck.
Can I get some double C batteries?
So let's see. Doug Jones. You're
Doug
right.
Jones,
Yep.
yeah. He's
Abe
like
Sapien.
the guy who dresses up. Like Andy Serkis does motion capture. Doug Jones dresses in full-on costume.
So think about that Stranger Things guy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
David Harbour is going to be playing Hellboy, which I'm excited about.
Now that-
He
I-
looks like a fugly little man.
I don't disagree that Ron Perlman was great in the Guillermo del Toro iteration of it, but I think that, I don't know, I just feel like based on like body size and everything like that, I think David Harbour is going to be more proportionate.
Let's get Batista in there.
Dude, I wonder if
I would be
Batista would make a
surprised.
great Hellboy.
He's not a good actor.
Okay.
We've
would-
been over this.
I would be surprised if they fit in some sort of role for him. God, this flying bug. So annoying. But
it's not
anyway,
a fly, though. It is not a fly.
Nope, not a fly, just a flying bug.
Dang old Gnat, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Mhm.
So, and also directing is going to be, where is it? I just had it. He directed The Descent. Neil Marshall directed
Oh,
The Descent,
hey,
and then
so
also
a lot of Game of Thrones,
yeah,
right?
directed a few
Yeah.
Game of Thrones episodes as well.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, this could be cool. I do like David Harbour a lot. So, I don't know. It sounds cool.
Apparently, the working title is Hellboy: Rise of the Blood Queen. Are any of you guys familiar with the comics?
Never read
No.
them.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, from like all the art that I've seen of it, I feel like David Harbour is going to be. Ron Perlman was great, mentality wise and everything like that, and the voice and the gruffness.
And
But-
size.
Well, but now I feel like every iteration I've seen of Hellboy, he's more not like slender, but he's kind of lanky,
think
whereas
he's-
Ron Perlman is more stocky.
Yeah, he's more muscular. Ron
Yeah.
Perlman's more muscular than Hellboy possibly should be. And the
Yeah.
shoulders are hunched, but I think a lot of that has to do with the animation style.
Yeah. But so I'm excited about this. It is weird because Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro are both on board for a Hellboy remake, or a sequel rather.
In fairness, Guillermo del Toro is on a million projects. That's why like none of them get made, because he says he's committed to so frickin' many. Is Pacific Rim 2 still happening?
Oh yeah, that's he's just producing that. He's not directing it.
Okay, remember when he was going to direct The Hobbit?
No,
He was going to direct The Hobbit. Do you remember when he was going to direct Justice League Dark?
no.
I heard a rumbling about that.
He's committed to all these things before. And there was some test footage from the Justice League Dark thing that was released. So
what would the cast be for that? Or not
he
the
said it
cast,
was
the characters. Yeah.
It was going to be John Constantine. They have animation tests for Swamp Thing, along with like Satana and Etrigan. But again, he's just committed to so many projects that I don't blame them for saying like, look, we want to do a Hellboy thing. Either do it or don't. Don't give us this like halfway.
Well, apparently the only issue, because I know like whenever he was tweeting about it, Guillermo del Toro was tweeting about it at the end of last year. So I think that he would have made it a priority gladly. But apparently the issue was that Guillermo del Toro wanted a bigger budget. He said he wanted a bigger canvas to paint on, so he wanted to sort of expand the Hellboy universe. Because both of the other movies, I've only seen bits and pieces of the second one, but they do feel kind of more contained.
The
like
first-
they travel a lot, but they're in a relatively small world.
The first one, it says, has an estimated budget of $66 million.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, any kind of blockbuster like that these days, I mean, Guardians 2 had a $200 million production budget. So, he's probably looking for something more along the lines of that. I'm seeing, though, he's only...
It's also worth mentioning how this was revealed. It was not like an official press release from the studio. It was Mike Mignola, the creator, saying that this is happening.
And this is on the heels of the Hellboy whiskey that's coming out.
Yeah, we did talk about that. The Hellwater, I think they're calling it. Or Firewater, maybe. Which is, again, like a fireball type,
That I don't think Hellboy would drink.
Exactly, yeah. It's interesting stuff, just like maybe that would have been fitting for Logan to have by his bedside. But, so yeah, Pacific Rim Uprising, he has a story credit on and he's producing, but that's being directed by IMDb. Oh, Stephen S. DeKnight. Okay, interesting. Who?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Stephen S. DeKnight, known for his work on
Daredevil.
Spartacus, but yeah, Daredevil Season 1.
Oh, wait, what's he doing now?
Directing Pacific Rim 2,
Goofy.
Uprising.
Huh. That's
And,
good. I think that's actually solid.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of the first Pacific Rim. It's a fun movie. It's not it's no Dark Knight or anything like that, but it's a fun popcorn movie.
Man, that first Pacific Rim actually kind of bums me out because it should be way better than it is.
Think so?
Yeah.
What do you mean popcorn movie?
Like it's it's fun. You go in.
Excuse me, popcorn film.
Because you just
Go on.
you just had an advertisement for Orville Redenbacher on your screen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Ooh.
Creepy stuff.
Ooh, government.
Maybe it just sort of supplanted a little subconscious thing in my mind. Interesting. But yeah, I just mean like it's a fun movie to pass the time. It's not really a thinker, but it's got lots of fun action sequences.
But is it art and is it a film?
Yeah, is it a film if you eat while watching it?
I have no problem calling it art because someone did make it with direction. They have an end point where we know what the feelings they're trying to evoke are.
Okay, going back to the art thing, Tyler brought over the break. Tyler, can you describe the piece of art you saw in the North Carolina Museum that you hate the most?
I think it was like a giant canvas, probably 6 feet tall, 5-6 feet wide, something like that. And there's a single dot in the middle of it. North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
My favorite two-dimensional art I've ever seen in a museum is in the Smithsonian. One of those museums, I can't remember because it was when I was in 10th grade. But there was a display. It was a black canvas and in white, almost like plain Times New Roman text. It had the word nothing and a definition. And then it was like a paragraph-long definition describing what nothing means, but as it was trying to describe it, the whole entire paragraph like negated itself and meant nothing. That's my
cool.
favorite thing I've ever seen.
So deep.
So deep. No, it's kind of like
Who is the artist?
anti-comedy and anti-art together at once.
Yeah.
Is anti-art still art?
Yes, it is. I'd say anti-comedy is still comedy.
Yeah.
Depends on who you
Anti-art
ask.
is still art. Depends on who you ask, I guess. If you're asking like, a regular person or like a person who knows stuff, then they'd probably agree with me. But if you ask like a mentally disabled war veteran or something, they might say what you say.
God.
You don't know which side I'm on. You don't know. I haven't said.
The tension is palpable, folks. So let's go ahead and get on to our next topic. Although to wrap up, again, I'm extremely excited by the prospect of Hellboy being rebooted. Both of those first two movies were very fun. They're watchable, even if they're not necessarily, like I said, thinkers or, along the lines of Guardians or... and we do have to start specifying because... do you guys know that Russian Guardians movie?
Yeah.
With Bear Man and all that stuff? Oh, man, you got to watch the trailer if you haven't seen it. It's ridiculous.
There's a bear man.
Yeah, there's a Bear Man. There's...
Bear Pig.
Do you know what other supernatural beings are in that movie?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the only one that stood out. But yeah, it's obviously Russia's response to like the Avengers. They just have this like superhero team, but it's ridiculously action packed.
Is Charlie coming in today?
No, it doesn't
No,
look like
it's
it.
not. He still hasn't even opened my Snapchat.
I hope that he's alive.
Who got him drunk?
I do genuinely hope he's alive and just hungover, something like that. But yeah, it's worth noting that Charlie's going to be moving, I guess at the end of this week, something like that. So this would have been the last time he was on the show.
So you'll have to tune in
Sorry,
last week.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm just on the filmography for the girl in Hellboy, and I was just surprised to find out she played Kris Jenner in American Crime Story, the OJ story.
Interesting. Is that what's her name? She's from Armageddon, right? She's
Is she?
Aerosmith's daughter.
You're thinking of Eve Tyler or Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler. Yeah. Who is it?
Oh, this lady?
Yeah.
Her name is Selma Blair.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
In case anyone's wondering why we're flailing our arms about, there's a ghost in here, and he's been messing with us all day. So if you see us doing this, we're like, get out of here. Not now. Wait
Silly
until
ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a much more fun explanation. The truth is, we really just should have kept that spider around so we could have gotten all these.
There was a spider in here?
Yeah, you remember I smushed it last week with the
oh, yeah,
Krispy Kreme.
yeah, I
hats.
remember that.
I've been haunted by that spider ever since. Maybe that's what this spirit is. The ghost of the spider. So, Wisdom Tree games. Tanner, I have no connection to this. I didn't even know they existed. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, this is just Okay, so Wisdom Tree was a publisher back in the day that published very religious video games, and they were all knockoffs. They were all knockoffs of like famous games. The one I'm about to pull up, I forget exactly which, but it looks like to me a Super Mario Brothers 2 ripoff. And there is what I find a hilarious ripoff of Doom, but you're on Noah's Ark.
It's called Salvation.
Yeah, I saw that was the most interesting
animals
one.
on top.
Yeah,
was what do they call it? Super 3D Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
or something like that?
yeah. So I've got it on screen right now.
And I guess
This is a straight up Doom ripoff when you're slingshotting these animals. Also,
because that's what Noah did was kill all the animals.
Also, there's way more than 2 of every animal on this ark.
Oh, no, they're not dead. They're sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's knocking
There's
them out
these,
so
yeah.
he can
Well,
drag them onto the boat.
Apparently, in the story of Noah, he brought on like 7 pairs of each animal.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Was he
to make sure?
was he keen on diversification of
Just make sure he
genes?
had enough. Because I mean, if one of them died,
True.
that's it.
It'd be pretty short-sighted to
Yeah.
only have 1 pair of each. Was Noah a vegan? Did he eat any
I
of
have
those
no idea.
animals?
I
don't think veganism even existed in
Yeah,
those
I-
days.
Yeah, it is
It's-
short-sighted for just to create 1 pair of each god.
Yeah, work on those instructions, man.
Yeah.
Adam and Steve.
But I mean, so they published all these games like back in the 80s and 90s, and it's just kind of a joke. But now these games are available to buy on Steam.
And you can get them all for $8.
Yeah, and you can get that one, that Super 3D Noah's Ark. That's what it's called. It for $5, and I'm tempted to get it.
So you for $13 measly, you can have the entire lineup of Wisdom Tree games and just reinforce your faith the way that God intended.
I mean, you say that, and obviously it's a joke, but as someone who loves like the history of this kind of stuff or the history of gaming because it's so young, this is awesome for me that they're putting this out. Because I believe every game should be available. It kills me that there are games that aren't because of
What about that E.T. game? Are there any existing?
there's copies of it. They dug up that famous landfill and did find copies,
Oh,
so
really?
that story's true.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
true.
But it's not like available for easy like you'd have to download an emulator.
Mhm.
And I have the Atari collection for PS4, and it's not on there, which I think is a crime. I would love to just have that available at any given moment, because I mean that's sort of actually I love that Wisdom Tree got this on Steam when there's actual like big games that are not widely available that pisses people off. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't coming to my head right now. I know a while ago System Shock 2 was the big one because that's considered one of the best games of all time, but it was like you could not find a copy, and it was not online.
Cameron, pitch me a video game right now.
Okay, so it's like a dog, and he's got like a tail made out of metal and electricity, and you can travel to space, and it's like a big old open world Grand Theft Auto, but you can go everywhere on the planet. You can even leave the planet and go to other planets. You can fly on a spaceship, and it's online, and everyone's
A dog
in
with
the-
a.
yeah, everyone. You can customize your character. I customized a dog man.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, and his cargo pants.
And that game is not widely available online, which is
It
a
would
shame.
be a good game.
What's the name?
Space Dogs.
I believe that's probably taken.
It actually,
Is that with a Z?
Space Dogs was the name of like a script I was working on.
Cameron has
It
a
was like
bald
Space
fist
Dogs
on the
is
table.
also-
my first ever sci-fi script. Hello, Dan. And I was working. I think I started that thing like 2 years ago, and then like in the past year, I saw that they're making an animated movie called Space
Oh,
Dogs.
they already made it in 2010. It was
Yeah.
a Russian CG animated movie, which I'll bring up the poster.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, from 2010. They already made Space Dogs.
That
Yeah,
doesn't look
it's
too bad.
The worst thing in the world.
It just goes to show those Russians really are spying on us. They took old Cam Boy's idea.
Yeah.
Well, so far, Cam's idea has been stolen. Sydney's idea has been stolen.
True.
I have good ideas.
Was Tiffany Lynn a Russian?
Oh.
No, I think Tiffany Lynn's from Alabama.
That's what I would guess too. Yeah. We don't mean to defame you though, old Tiffany Lynn.
Benadryl Oreos.
Hey,
There
Charlie
we go.
Dawson sent me a message. That must mean he's alive. Let's see what he says.
Hey, sorry, man.
Holy S word! I just woke up. I'm so sorry, man. I guess I slept through my alarm. I feel terrible, dog.
DAWG.
No, DOG.
DOG.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll reply to
That's
him
how you know he means it.
whenever we end the show here in 10 minutes or so.
We're never having him on again.
Yep. You hear that, Charlie? You're fired.
You're fired, Charlie.
Setting a precedent.
Man. Well, that's too bad. I know he was planning to do another $4 food groups for us. So maybe he can just start sending us video clips from
Yeah.
New York or something like that.
Send me food in the mail. I'll eat it.
So I guess that's the last sentiment that we'll get from Charlie Dawson, unless hopefully he will.
Oh, have him call in.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's do that.
We've got 10 minutes to make this happen.
Sounds good. While I send him that message, you guys want to talk about Fruit Ninja, the series?
This is
No.
yeah. I mean, I just
I'd rather have my arms chopped off, but Tanner, what you got?
no. I mean, I just is this the adaptation we've been waiting for?
Is this the adaptation we wanted? No.
No.
Is
but
this
it's
the
one
adaptation we needed? No.
Also, no.
Yeah. So yeah, for those who don't know, the hit iPhone game Fruit Ninja is getting adapted into a YouTube series, and the trailer's out. And did anyone bother watching?
No.
I did. It's awful. It looks really, really bad.
looks like
That
Castle
looks good from
Crashers.
that picture you're putting up.
I mean, it's already hard enough to adapt a video game into a series. Nevertheless, a
Phone app.
mobile
Game.
app.
It's going to be
Yeah.
on YouTube Red.
How was the
YouTube
Angry Birds movie?
Well, at least Angry Birds had a narrative within the game. You know,
yeah,
the
because
pigs
here
were-
I've got a what narrative can you get from this screen? This is the screen
Right,
from the
yeah,
game.
True.
YouTube Red makes more sense than actually anything else.
That I'll give you. Like that. That's the place to put it. Cindy, you getting the number? Gotcha. But I mean, how much pandering can you do to these kids?
Not enough.
About that much.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Fruit Ninja game in an arcade in the mall.
I think that guy in the background has watermelon boobs.
Oh, well, I'm not mad at that.
So how are we going to take
Nice
Oh, look,
melons.
Look, he's a pineapple with watermelon boobs. It's hilarious.
Interesting.
Tanner, if you were going to be a fruit,
What do you mean? If I was gonna be?
What fruit are you, Tanner?
I think I'm an apple because I have rough skin on the outside, but I'm real sweet on the
I
inside.
think it's because you got them apple bottom jeans boot with the fur.
Them whole club would look at.
So what? Charlie's not here, so I'm the one you be mean to.
I'm mean to you anyway.
Yeah.
I guess I would probably choose pineapple or coconut because they have
Why are you a coconut?
hard exterior. I'm not saying as representation
Why
of
are you
me.
giving him a rough time?
Because he's a coconut. He can
I'm just
handle
saying
it.
if I want to
hairy
have
ball.
longevity in my existence as a fruit, I would pick either coconut or pineapple.
That'd be a champagne grape.
I squish those. I squish those when I make art.
Well, I don't.
I'd probably be a.
I'd be a damn kiwi.
Excuse me.
I'd be a kiwi.
I'd be a probably be a banana
Why?
Alright.
because I'm yellow and phallic.
Banana, I would say, is among the
That's racist, I think.
banana.
I
is
have
among
jaundice.
The most vulnerable of the fruits. See, I was
Bruises easily.
going, not in terms of a representation of my personality, but like I'm trying to survive in this fruit game.
If you peel me, if you peel me skin back, me insides are very squishy.
You're also a pirate banana.
Garg.
Was it pirates or orange? Or I mean, was it bananas or oranges?
It was pirates or oranges.
that fought off scurvy. I'm pretty sure it was oranges.
Pirates tried to, but oranges actually did. Limes, I think, is what you're thinking
I'll be
of.
a
Yeah,
damn
pirates did
dragon
also
fruit.
try to fight off scurvy.
Be a grapefruit and a dragon fruit and a pomegranate.
Before we get too off topic, though, I wanted to ask Tanner: did you ever play the game Illusion of Gaia
No, never heard
on
of
Super
it.
Nintendo? Ah,
Illusion
man.
of gay.
It was like very similar to the Legend of Zelda, A Link in Time.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. I always confuse that. Very similar in terms of layout, just like that Wisdom Tree game was. But it was like a way like out there, highfalutin story that like I could never really figure it out as a kid. But now that I've looked it up, there's all kinds of crazy metaphors going on and stuff like that. But I would suggest anyone to look it up. It's pretty interesting. It's the
What's it
Illusion of Gaia, Gaia. I think it's way too convoluted to even. Okay, I'll give you its setting. There's two full paragraphs just for setting. So, Illusion of Gaia is set in a partially historical but mostly fantasy-based version of Earth. The game contains several real-world sites, such as Incan ruins, the Nazca Lines, Angkor Wat, the Great Wall of China, and the Egyptian pyramids. Each of these ruins hold a piece of the final puzzle unveiled at the top of the infamous Tower of Babel.
Oh, this looks like Chrono Trigger.
Never heard of that.
I'm just trying to see who developed it. Enix published it, but did not develop that. So it's an RPG. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure the listeners are fascinated by this conversation.
Yeah, all I wanted to say was anyone interested, look that up, because it was like a precursor to the more complicated storylines that games would start to have later on. But
Are we just killing time before Charlie calls in?
I guess
I have
don't know
some
if
1
he's
through
even gonna
5s or
call in.
something.
I don't think he's gonna.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes left, so let's play 1 through 5 until or if Charlie calls in.
All right, give me 1 sec here. All right, so the 1 through 5 topic today. I'll do a short one. I have very long ones, so we'll do this short one. Yeah, I know, right? This one's just some fun facts about sleep. And for those who don't know 1 through 5, whatever the question I ask, the answer is going to be a number between 1 and 5.
Okay.
So, with all that in mind, ready?
Yes.
Here we go. 1 in blank married couples sleep in separate beds.
3.
I'm gonna say 4.
2.
Wow, Sydney is correct. 1 in 4 married couples sleep in separate beds.
Yeah, my grandparents do.
My mom and dad do.
What?
The obvious like implication everyone thinks is like, oh, they must have marital problems, but a lot of people do it just because they can't sleep with other people.
That's the thing with my mom. She's like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's probably snoring
Yeah.
too. My grandma snores very badly.
True that.
Yeah.
True.
Upon blank minutes of waking from a dream, 50% of it is forgotten.
2.
1.
4.
5.
Ooh, he did say minutes.
True.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about. Yeah, gave it away. But yeah, so 5 minutes after you wake up, you've forgotten at least half the dream. Like, can you if you try really hard, do you think you can commit it to memory? Because I feel like everything in a dream is so abstract.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
And
it depends on the severity of the dream.
That's why you're supposed to, if you want to remember it, you have a dream
I
journal.
used to have a dream
immediately
journal.
write.
Yeah.
after you wake
And
up.
it was weird, and I'm like, what the hell am I dreaming about? Like, because I'd write it when I woke up, like at 3 a.m, and then look at it later, and I'm like, what does any of this mean?
Yeah, when you're writing half asleep, it probably doesn't make any more sense than your actual dream itself
Yeah.
does.
And my mom says that my parents sleep in separate beds when my dad snores.
Okay, yeah.
My dad has a CPAP, so he should be getting all sorts of
Yeah, like a
air shoved
machine
into
in
his
there.
nose, but I guess it's not working
Yeah. Oh
correctly.
wow, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, here's a little fun one here.
As opposed to these silly,
Mhm.
non-fun ones.
Yeah. People with erectile dysfunction are blank times as likely to suffer from sleep apnea.
Oh,
Whoa.
my expertise.
2.
4.
3.
Cameron is correct. People
Mm.
with erectile dysfunction are twice as likely
That's
to
right.
suffer from sleep apnea. Do you think it's because they're thinking about the erectile dysfunction, or do you think it's just like a condition?
Probably lack of blood flow everywhere.
But wouldn't that put you to sleep?
Well,
lack
with sleep
Okay.
apnea, it's like your tongue is blocking your airway, right?
I
With
think it's
sleep
I think it means you
apnea,
just can't sleep.
it's not necessarily your tongue. I think it's a lot of like extra weight.
Mhm.
That's one thing that contributes to it. I'm not sure exactly where the weight goes.
Well, because
and what it
I
does,
know
but-
that like bodybuilders,
Mhm.
pretty much or like pretty much any bodybuilder has to
Mhm.
have a CPAP machine because their neck muscles make their throat so much smaller that
Yeah.
they're telling if it falls in just like the perfect way, it's super easy for it to block their air hole.
and your air hole.
Yeah, I know.
And you're
There's
having
definitely a better word for that, but
and when you can't get enough air in from just breathing normally, your oxygen goes down, and oxygen linked to the blood, probably having erectile dysfunction problems
okay.
too. I guess that's
Yeah.
just a spitball thing. You can get a doctor in here, sponsor a segment, tell us what's really happening.
Yeah,
I should
let's-
do a 1 through 5 on erectile dysfunction.
let's
now
get
that I think about
a doctor to come in and just tell us about erectile dysfunction and all the issues associated
My
with
friend has erectile.
it. Is your mom
dysfunction.
defending your dad right now?
Yep.
Don't want to put that out there. Mr. Wood, he lives up to his last name. Sorry. Tanner, you have another one for us?
Yeah. Prime Nation Live gets awkward this many times. During
That can't be a 1 through 5.
27.
Yeah, we gotta have at least double digits on that one.
Speaking of double, this one's a two-parter.
Double
Giraffes.
stuffed.
Yeah. Giraffes only sleep blank hours a day in blank minute sessions.
1.
So well, no, I mean, 2 individual answers.
Yeah,
2 and
okay,
4.
1, 5.
Sydney
Mm. 4.
and
5.
all right. So Tyler was correct about the first part. Giraffes only sleep 2 hours a day, and Sydney and Cameron were correct. They do it in 5-minute intervals.
Oh, I had them backwards.
Well, then
So you're completely
yeah,
wrong.
You're
yeah,
totally
I was
wrong.
completely wrong. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I said 5, yeah.
I was thinking they slept for 5 minutes at a time.
That's what I'm saying. They sleep for
Yeah.
2 hours during the whole day combines to 2 hours of sleep, and they do it in 5-minute intervals.
Okay. Yeah,
As in,
I was
like, they
I had a complete misunderstanding.
They're just hanging out with their friends, and then they go to sleep for 5 minutes, and they wake up and pretend nothing happens.
So then how many sleep segments is that? That's 120 minutes divided by 5.
24 segments.
Wow. Huh.
So once an
24
hour.
Oh,
For
yeah,
5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Interesting.
God, we're so good at math.
Well, when we work as a team, we can accomplish anything.
I wonder if giraffes, if they just did 2 hours at once, how much better they would enjoy
yeah,
life.
you probably can serve a lot of time there. That's 22 full hours in the day.
I wonder if it's just long enough for their neck to like fully
for them to
get all the way
realize.
to the ground
Yeah.
and then touch them. Oh, I'm good.
Do you have any more, Tanner?
Yeah, let's do a winner take all
Okay.
here.
Oh,
All
I
right.
like it.
Yeah, and this one instead of 1 through 5, it's going to be 6 through 9. No
I like
nice from
those
you, Tyler.
numbers.
Damn it.
Huh?
An estimated blank out of 10 blind people have problems sleeping.
Oh, I know this. It's 7.
Is it all of them? No, they.
And
There's
that's why
actually
it's
that
6 through
commercial.
9, because that's why otherwise you could have said 10.
There's this commercial for non-24. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
For blind people, they have non-24-hour sleep cycles
Mm.
because they're blind. They don't take in light
Yeah, it
from
makes
the sun
sense.
and the moon. What was the question? I heard blind people and I got excited.
It's this many out of 10 blind people have problems sleeping.
8.
6.
Cameron?
I said 7.
Oh,
Okay.
Tyler's correct. Tyler wins the whole thing. 8 out of
Nice.
10 blind
Gotta watch
people
more
have
commercials,
problems
fellas.
sleeping. That's gotta suck. That's
Being
just
blind? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, just that's another thing to add to the pile.
Yeah, really. Mm.
Oh, there is a guy that's like a blind movie critic on YouTube, and he answers just like general blind Q&As every once in a while. And one of the questions I do want answers is how do you know when you're done wiping?
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. That's a good
That's
question.
mean. That's rude.
I'm genuinely
Well,
curious.
I
there's a
am too.
YouTube channel. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like things you would never ask. And I remember I
Mm.
watched one with Down syndrome where people submitted questions that they would never ask a person with Down syndrome in person, and it was really illuminating to hear their answers about it, like how they feel about sex and things like that.
I
Here's
saw
something
2
I'd
of
ask a
those
Down
that
syndrome
were.
person. How do you know when you're done wiping?
There were 2 of those videos, and I think BuzzFeed did them both, and I hated the way they did it because one was the questions that guys are afraid to ask girls, and the questions girls are afraid to ask guys. And with the
Why you being a bitch?
with the one with the girls afraid to ask guys, when the guys got the questions, they gave they honestly tried to answer them. Like,
yeah.
what does an erection feel like? And they gave an honest attempted answer. Whereas with the female one, it's no straight up. It was like, what does a period female or what does a period feel like? And all the women were like, whoa, okay, you don't even know. And it's like, yeah, I don't. That's why the question is being asked.
Point of this entire segment.
I got another Down syndrome question.
Cameron,
How do you?
I'm right here.
Here we go. This is what I'd ask. I'd say, how do you know?
God.
All right, guys.
All right, when we go to edit for the podcast, we need to take these parts out.
Well, we got between Tanner's anti-Semitic and anti-African American comments. Yeah, we got a lot to try
Erectile
about today.
dysfunction is a hell of a day.
It has been. It's been quite the episode, guys, but it is drawing to a close now. This has been Prime Nation Live on May 10th. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully our guest for the day will show up. Who knows, though?
I don't know. Gerard will probably be late.
Thursdays are typically pretty up in the air. Wednesdays have been pretty solid until old Charlie.
Tanner, wake up.
Maybe Charlie survived.
I'm running the frickin' cameras.
Maybe Charlie survived, but then just like tripped getting out of bed or something. So now he's suffered a horrific accident now. But anyway, this has been the end of our show. Prime Nation Live, May 10th. I'm Sydney Roberts. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SydneyRoberts18.
I'm Tyler Wood. Sydney has sleep apnea up on Wikipedia. He's educating himself. I'm Tyler Wood. You can find me on Twitter at Tyler W. Wood and on Instagram at Styler Wood. And you can find Prime Nation across all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Libsyn, SoundCloud, iTunes, all the rest of them at Prime Nation Live.
Oh, yes, and I'm Cameron Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at CamboySmith. That's CAMBOISMIF.
And God help you if you want to find me, but if you do,
you can catch him outside.
Yeah, Twitter at Tanner Methvin and YouTube page, the Sinister Waffles channel.
Perfect, guys. Well, that's our show. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, May 11th at 10 a.m. live. Take it easy till then. Check us out on iTunes and YouTube in the meantime.